as always, Joe, it's my favorite day of the week during my favorite time of the year. It's college football Saturday. It is Saturday, November 6th, week 10 of the college football season. You know, just a few weeks left in the regular season. These are the games where the kind of the rubber meets the road. We have a really good slate of games. It's like we don't have the Super Bowl matchup. Like normally Alabama LSU is one of those gigantic matchups. And I think the Big Ten wishes that Nebraska Ohio State was that kind of game too. It's not that type of game, but that doesn't necessarily mean we don't have some really good matchups here and some really good games.
Yeah, absolutely. Today's card is stacked, and I can't wait to get this TV on today.
I think we're seeing the line drawn in the sand here. You know, we see it every season. You know, the sharps versus the public or whatever. I think that that line has been just so skewed. With sports betting legalized in the United States, we're seeing less and less of an impact on the perceived line movement because the information that we're getting is so incomplete. And of course, they don't tell us where it comes from because you can look at 3 or 4 different ones of these sources of public betting and things like that. But what you can see are lines moving or not moving. So you kind of have an idea. We know who the public teams are, the big schools, right? So.
Oh, we absolutely do. I'm representing one of them today. Public team. Yes. 100%. Well, I love my Buckeyes.
Well, my wife's family would be happy with that, but I'm not the biggest Buckeye fan. Of course, both my nephews go to Ohio State. So, I don't know.
Well, you have to, I gave us a couple months before I threw on the Buckeyes jersey, right?
It's okay.
I knew not to throw it on right away.
I'm telling you, my wife's grandfather played quarterback at Ohio State on one of the best teams they ever had. It's awesome. I've heard the stories. I've heard them up and down. It's I know it. I've heard those things. So I don't know. I just think that it's that time of year. We know that for a lot of the seniors, especially the home teams, that finality of their last games they're ever going to play, starts to settle in. Where it's this is my last month of football ever. Then you have other guys that are looking at the NFL and saying, this is my last chance because I'm not going to play in a bowl game because that's so out these days, right? It's uncool to play in the bowl games. Unless you're in the playoff, then all of a sudden it's fine to play in the bowl game, which...
Yeah, it's so weird how they do that, right? Yeah, are they just worried about getting hurt, or why do they decide to sit out of that bowl game?
Well, because Jalen Smith was injured, and that really was the big thing, is that Jalen Smith was injured in his bowl game. We've seen other guys get injured in the bowl games, but then you see other players like Chase Winovich is you'd have to kill me to not let me play in this bowl game. I mean, you have, the two different trains of thought. I mean, for years and years and years, everybody played in the bowl games, and this was kind of what you played for. Mm-hmm. And, now you have the opposite school of thought where it's, I could get injured, but the ones that are the playoff games, everybody plays. So, once again, if we expand the playoff to 16 teams, the possibility of everybody playing at full strength in the bowls increases, I would say. You don't see I could hardly see if, say, Alabama happens to make the playoff. You think Bryce Young's going to sit because, he might get injured for his NFL career? And I just don't see it, No. We don't see it. So...
No, and I think there's a different mentality between the players that will sit and the players that won't. I think there'd be more prima donnas that would sit.
Well, there's plenty.
In my opinion.
There's plenty of prima donnas, I think, at the NFL level. I think you see less of them at the college level. A lot of them become the prima donna when they hit that.
Well, exactly. The ones that will be prima donnas in the NFL. I bet you if you look back on the ones who sat during their bowl games, I bet you there's a correlation there.
Let's see, who sat last year? Michael Carter sat. He doesn't seem to be such a prima donna on the Jets.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, sits
are
guys like the Bosa brothers are the guys who sit. The Ohio State players, the ones who sit if they don't make the playoff.
hey, so what about that team
Gators
that
and
you don't
Buckeyes? It's going to be those Notre Dame players. Those are the ones that sit.
They sit for sure. What about that team that you don't like to name that got that nice win yesterday?
They certainly did. They got a lot of great bounces early. They took advantage of those. And, Virginia Tech, their quarterback got knocked out in the first series of plays, and they never were able to recover from that. They had some nice plays here and there, but every time they got momentum, they shot themselves in the foot with and it wasn't like, subjective calls that they were getting, that it was happening with. It was the illegal motion, they get the first down, they get a 30-yard play for first down, and then it'd be illegal motion, 1st and 15, and they're not a 1st and 15 team. They're just not. And, losing their quarterback early, that certainly hurt. And
that did the game.
Boston College played with some solid emotion in that one. So you got to give it to them where you give it to them. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains, sometimes the game's canceled. You never really know. But these days. But anyways, we've got Ron Romanelli ready to come in. His Gators, I don't know. What we have here is a 500 ball club in Gainesville. Not really what they signed up for when they gave Dan Mullen $600 million or whatever they gave him to coach this football team, despite really being a 500 coach throughout his entire career. I mean, he had Dak Prescott, he went 500. He's another one of these guys that's had tremendous success under a really great head coach.
Yeah, I mean, Mullen is definitely not worth the money we've paid him this year, and the contract is looking worse and worse as the games go by. But, this is the type of game that they're playing today at South Carolina. I know South Carolina usually keeps this series close, but we know Dan Mullen loves to run up the score against those weaker SEC teams. And, South Carolina's offense just hasn't been there. So I do expect, it's not a premium or a free play, but I do think the Gators could roll through in South Carolina and earn a 4-touchdown victory on the road. It wouldn't surprise me. Even with Anthony Richardson not going to be able to play it today, I think Emory Jones in the running game is enough. This is just the type of game where, Gators blow them out. Everything's good again in Gainesville. The season's over. I'm looking for college basketball, for Gator basketball.
Yeah, I think for Florida, the expectations got to be higher than this.
Oh yeah,
it's just much higher. And I say it all the time because I'm really enjoying myself with it. Is that what the sports better doesn't understand is that losing to Alabama, it doesn't matter if they covered or not. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
they do not care about that. The goal at Florida is to win the SEC title. That is the goal going into every season. Like, different schools have different goals, Like Miami, it's to win the national championship and run the table, right? For Florida, it's to win the SEC championship. And then everything else will take care of itself. That's the way they generally have said it. But not even a whiff. I mean, they're not even in the discussion. They're looking at the Pilot Pen Bowl or something like that. But they do have those bowl tie-ins in the SEC, so they're going to get something that they don't deserve to be in, and likely face an opponent they're going to be overmatched.
Yeah, I mean, I still do think this is a good Gators team. I think they just kind of shot themselves in the foot a few times against Kentucky, against LSU. Obviously, that Bama game was close, and even in Georgia, I mean, 3-0 looking like it's going to go into halftime, and then all of a sudden it's 24-0 before you could even blink. So I think there's a lot of talent, but I do think some issues are coaching. I think, just you can't make simple. I mean, at Kentucky, how many false start penalties? And that's just all coaching. I mean, offensive line has struggled this year, but, I mean, you have to look at the top guys, and that's the coaching staff. So disappointing season. We're looking to put it behind us, but, I think it should be a blowout win today for Florida.
I think, I think the blowout win in Florida just aren't two things that go together under Dan Mullen. And I think you're really reaching there. I think you're underestimating Ben, because I don't think Florida can beat those Cocks. But anyways, I think South Carolina's got a chance to beat them outright, to be honest with you.
Maybe. I mean, the way the season's going, definitely not a play I love. But
yeah, Dan Mullen is that bad of a coach. I mean, it's time to really face reality. It's like we've all seen these situations before. He is that bad. It's like he is that horrible. Losing to Kentucky at Florida, I don't care what you could say about Kentucky. They were 6-0. Trust me on this, okay? I grew up in Florida. Zillion friends that went to the University of Florida. Time I was like 2 years old, I had to watch the Charlie Pell show and all that other crap on TV. losing to Kentucky is not part of the program at Florida. It is not part of the agenda. It is not excusable. It is not something that they're going to gloss over. It's like the bettors might forgive it, but that's not something that's forgiven at Florida. Losing to Kentucky. I mean, LSU is LSU, and it's like, you can even somewhere make there. It's a bad LSU, so it's still a bad loss. But losing to Kentucky is just not worse. Right. It's worse. Kentucky could be 11-0, and LSU could be 5-6, and the loss to Kentucky is still worse.
Yeah, I mean, there's just right now. I think the big thing is there's a losing culture at Gator football right now. Even if you say Gator sports, it's just a losing culture. I'm not sure. It started right when I enrolled. I don't know what happened, but something needs to change across the board. I mean, even look at the basketball team. There's been disappointments there as well. So hopefully that things can change pretty soon. But definitely not a good year and not a good team for Florida this season.
I thought Florida played really well last year after. They had to totally regroup in basketball. I'll give them that. We'll give them that. But anyways, let's get to your game for today. I could talk college football all day. I do.
I know we can.
That is what I do, right? It's kind of what I do.
Well,
Joe thinks I should have a college football show all year.
Yeah, I do, because you can look at recruiting, everything. There's so many angles you could take this.
Yeah.
You could do a show every day.
We could just criticize, pick a head coach, and just pick them apart.
There'd be plenty you could talk about. I think it'd be a great show, Mitch. Yeah.
All right.
All year long.
I'm in.
Well, for me today, I'm going to look at a different Florida team. The same team we took last week, UCF. We laid the points against Temple, and then a nice blowout win there. So I'm going to take them again. You look at this matchup with Tulane. Tulane's 1-7 on the season. They've already clinched the losing season. So no bowl eligibility and not really much to play for Tulane other than maybe some moral victories and starting roles in next year's team. But, UCF, they've had to deal with a lot of injuries this season, a lot of disappointments. Dylan Gabriel going down early and a few losses, more losses than UCF's seen all in the past few years. They're 5-3 now, though. They still have a chance to make a good bowl game. And their defense has actually been really stellar these past few games, which is something we're not used to seeing from UCF. Usually we see more scoring, giving up some points as well. But the last 3 of the last 4 games, they've given up, I think, under 200 yards or around 360 to East Carolina, but a nice 16-point defensive showing. Their defense has been solid. And Tulane, the offense has really struggled as of late. It was started strong this season, but it hasn't scored more than 30 points since its second game against Morgan State. Its offense has gone through some injuries with Michael Pratt at quarterback, but there also seems to be like a lack of motivation with Tulane's offense. So not in love with the way the Green Wave are playing offensively, and the defense is even worse. I mean, one of the worst defenses in college football, 41 points per game allowed, almost 500 total yards of offense per game allowed, just miserable both against the rush and the pass. UCF should have no problem scoring points, moving the ball all game long at home. UCF, if they can get in the 40s here, should be enough to cover this spread. And they're only laying less than 2 touchdowns here at a place they play very well at the Bounce House at home. The home team is 3-1 against the spread in the last 4 meetings between these two teams. So all the numbers and the trends say to take UCF. That's where I'm going. I'm going to take the Knights and lay the points.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm 100% with you in this one. I really do think UCF comes out with a really strong game here at home. Defensively, they're by far the better team. They're going to light up the board tonight against this Tulane defense. It's giving up just over 40 points per game on average. I can see this being an over game as well, with them putting up most of the points here. So give me UCF minus the points and the over in this one.
I like UCF as well. I just think that, Tulane, just not quite the team that we've seen in recent years from them. And I think, they had the nice game at Oklahoma, but it was clearly just a blip on the radar. It's just not what we really see from this team. It might be, even something more to say about Oklahoma. And I think we saw that from the committee, just the other day that, they say, well, Oklahoma had a few close shaves and we're not comfortable with, because we all kind of wish they would go away. Thankfully, they're not playing this week. But, I'm with you. I like the Knights. I think UCF is one of those teams that it's more than just a stepping stone program now. They're a real program. They have a lot of good players. They've had some tough injuries in recent years, but
Yeah. I think people underestimate how much pride is in this program. I mean, living in Florida for my whole life virtually, there's UCF fans they're nuts. They love their team. They love their football team. It's, I think, one of the most populated colleges in the United States. So a lot of fans, and they're diehard UCF football fans. So I think the Bounce House will be rocking even against Tulane.
They haven't been playing football there for all that long. I think the Dante Culpepper team was the original one that kind of got them on the map as far as football goes. At least got them notoriety because Culpepper was just such a big prospect, and they landed him at quarterback. And since then they've had some really good teams, and it's they're more known for that electric offense. But they have some bruisers on this team. I mean, they do. I mean, they have some bruising running backs.
Yep.
But what do you got for sale at Pick Dogs today?
Yeah, having a good week. 7 straight winning days overall. Been just keeping my head down, keep grinding, getting those 2-1 winning days. I'll take them. I'm looking to do it again. Another college football Saturday. I have my top 5 plays in college football. Looking for our 3rd straight winning college football Saturday. The game started 3:30, so you have some time. So check it out at Pick Dogs Premium. And again, college basketball coming right around the corner. So maybe grab a week plan so you can get my college basketball plays for the week as well. Looking to do some damage here at Pick Dogs Premium.
It is a light early schedule today, that's for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks, Ron. We will see you tomorrow for NFL Sunday.
All righty, guys. Good luck, everybody.
Best of luck today.
It's Ron Romanelli. Always love talking Florida football with them. I'm from Florida. I'm from Miami, so it's like I grew up with it, with Miami, Florida, Florida State. And I know now they're Central Florida and South Florida, and FIU is generally a better team, at least most of the years. And you have FAU now is more prominent, but when I grew up there, it was just the big 3. And either you love the other team, either you were a fan of one of the teams, or you absolutely hated them. So it's like there was no in between. It was pretty much all we had. We didn't have hockey or basketball or any of those other sports at the time.
I like it.
But, we have a good amount of guests for today's show. Look in the green room. You can bring in next will be Shane Mickle. He hasn't been on the show yet. So
I'm excited.
Well, you don't have to be that excited for that much longer because he's going to be here.
Well, I'm excited. It's nice to have new people on that are not new to Pick Dogs, but I haven't met them before.
Okay, well, here's Shane. Welcome to our show.
Thanks, guys. How's it going today, guys?
Good, thanks. Shane is in Minnesota. Of course, the Gophers, it's been a tough team to figure out this season, right? I mean, they lost to Bowling Green early. It was one of the biggest upsets of the college football season. Of course, they're probably big Liberty fans now that Liberty took that away from them from the biggest upset of the season, when they got smoked by Monroe a few weeks ago. And, but the Gophers, Fleck seems to have them in order. He just signed a contract extension there. And, not the most exciting team. They're 4 deep into the running back position right now, so still getting it done.
Yeah, they've got like their I think they're on their 5th and 6th running backs we'll be playing today.
Crazy.
Last week, the linebacker scored a touchdown for him, running the ball. So yeah, this is a team. But I mean, Fleck knows he runs the ball, so he recruits tons of running backs. So even though we're 5th and 6th, these are still 3-star guys that he's putting out on the field.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show you, I always believe that, at the Division I level, just about everybody on the roster can play. I mean, how many guys how many people did we go to, high school with and, that never played, Division I college football, but were good players on the high school football team? Plenty, plenty. So, we know that everyone on a Big Ten roster, except, sometimes there's some guys that are just the friend of the friend of the guy they really wanted. Right? I mean, that happens.
Yeah,
remember
for sure.
USC wanted Drew Holiday or something, so they got a rapper. Like they recruited like a rapper to play basketball or something. Yeah. was good strategy. That's how you end up on probation right there. But anyways,
I was gonna say, how did that work out for them?
Probation. Oh, we lost Shane. Oh, let's see. Somehow we got James Clark back in here. Let's see. No, that's just in the green room. Oh, that's so weird. Anyway, Shane, what do you got for us today?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go against the team that the Gophers beat last weekend, and the reason I'm going against them is what I saw last weekend against the Gophers. I'm going to go against Northwestern here. I'm going to take the Iowa Hawkeyes. Northwestern is ranked like 5th worst in college football in terms of yards given up per game on the ground. Iowa, they haven't been running the ball as much as they'd like this year. But when the Iowa Hawkeyes are best, they run the ball, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do in this game. They're going to take up clock. They're going to burn up clock. They're going to keep running the ball, and Northwestern's going to have no answer for them. Northwestern also has issues moving the ball, and I just don't see any way that Northwestern keeps this game close. I think Iowa can actually win this game by 3 or 4 touchdowns, much like the Gophers did last weekend. I'm going to take Iowa laying the 12 here.
Joe, what do you think?
It's a lot of points, but I do think Iowa comes out and gets it done. I think it's a little bit tight. I like the under more in this game. I think both offenses are just struggling to score. So I think the under 40.5 is the safest bet. It's 6-1 to that under in their last 7 matchups.
Yeah, I think what we've seen from Iowa in recent weeks has not been good. We saw them come out just gangbusters, and the defense was carrying the way. I always think that when you look at teams with the good defenses, not like the good defense, but kind of the elite defenses like Iowa has, they do have an elite defense. And I think when you see the teams with the elite defenses, it's always tougher to look at the pure numbers because the offensive numbers are never going to be as good as a team that has an average to mediocre defense because they're going to be playing on longer fields. Well, so Iowa's offense, when they're on the short field, they're super effective. But when they're pushed to play on the long field and you play the field position game with them is where they've struggled. But I just think against a team like Northwestern, who's not good this year, I think they're going to be too physical. I think they're going to beat them up in Evanston. And I'll tell you what, they got some great kettle corn there in Northwestern. So
that makes a difference. Right
anyone
there,
headed to the game, grab a bag. I don't know what the price is. I'm sure they made it like $95 because they know I'd buy it anyway. But it's one of those things. It's like Malamar cookies. It's like, how in the hell are these things $14? Because they know you're going to buy it anyway, right? So it's
when people cheer there, does popcorn go everywhere?
It's like a giant bag you get. You get
that's what I mean. Like when you jump up, is it flying everywhere?
Oh no way! It's gold. If it even makes it that far. I mean, let's be realistic. If the thing makes it to kickoff, we're lucky.
Like, they had the Mitch special. They saw you walking up and quick raise the price on you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they do. I don't care. It's one of those things. It's like you don't even look at the price. You just buy it. It's like hot chocolate on a -20 day at Soldier Field. It's like whatever it takes.
And the hot chocolate's always lukewarm anyways, but it still feels good.
Oh no, they only have it available in the souvenir cup, which is an extra $19.
I love it.
It's like the woman next to you, you don't have to buy the souvenir cup every single time. It's like I got like a stack of them. Oh man. Yeah, I like this one. Northwestern's one of those teams. They're good every few years. They have those challenges of being a really tough academic institution. So they're not going to get, those marginal players, the one and dones. They don't get those type of players. They get the guys that are using their athletic ability to get an education and kind of a lost art. But they certainly do it well, and they have a great head coach in Pat Fitzgerald who, I don't know how they keep him there, but they do. But I think Iowa just a little too physical for him here. And also, I think Iowa's ready to get back to winning.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where I think the last 2 weeks are definitely on their mind, their last 2 games. And, I think they saw what the Gophers did against them last week. And this is a game where they're going to try to really put on a show.
Yeah, I mean, they've lost to 2 fairly mediocre teams the last 2 times out. I mean, Minnesota's a decent team, but, I mean, the reality of it is, Bowling Green beat them. So if you go by they beat them and they beat them, imagine what Bowling Green would do to Iowa, right? And then, Purdue, Minnesota beat Purdue, and then that was in the rain at Purdue. And then, but it still was, they just manhandled them. They slaughtered them. They were never in it. And then, we saw Purdue just destroy Iowa the next week. So, I don't know. I don't think Northwestern has what it takes to hold in it, but I don't know. Maybe this Iowa offense is that bad. We'll have to see. But I like the pick. What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Yeah, I got a couple different packages today. I got a 7-pack of just college football, or I've got a college football and NBA 7-pack, 2 NBA, along with 5 of my 5 best college football. Both of those are $37.95.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. You coming back for NFL Sunday tomorrow?
Yep, I will see everyone tomorrow for NFL Sunday.
All right. Sounds like we got a new regular. Thanks, Shane, for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Shane Mickle. Shane always
fun.
He always has a lot of totals. He always like a lot of totals. I thought maybe give a total there.
Yeah, I love the under in that game. I think we're just gonna have a really hard game to get points on that board.
Nothing like Northern Chicago in early November.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Should be a good time. Anyways, we've got still a full house with us left to go. We got Kevin Thomas with us, and I don't think he's been with us on Saturdays. I think he's only been on us for Sundays. So
I agree with you.
So this is a rare treat or a trend. Could be one or the other. We'll have to ask him when he gets here. But so your Ohio State jersey there, it says say Joe Madden on the back, or it says
it does. It does. Look at this.
Joe Madden. There you go.
Yeah, number 1.
Numero uno. Who's number 1?
That's me.
Joe
number 1. All my jerseys that I get say number 1 and Joe Madden on the back.
Nice.
Except for my Chargers ones.
Those you stick with the player?
Yeah.
We've got Kevin Thomas with us here and from Philly. Kevin, morning.
Hey, morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We appreciate you coming by for College Football Saturday. We don't have too many of these left, but we're going to enjoy each and every one of them, that's for sure.
No lie, I never get to watch the early games with all the softball, but now that we're shut down, I'm going to take it all in today and get as many games in as possible. So I'm ready to rock and roll here.
Awesome. Well, what have you got going on today for us?
Oh, my free winner today, I'm going down James Clark territory. I'm going with West Virginia and the points. I really like them here. They're 8-1-1, last 10 against the spread. In this matchup, they're 3-1-1 head-to-head at home. Oklahoma State, sorry, that's who they're playing. Oklahoma State, though, we're looking at them. They're 7-1. They're coming off a loss, so they're going to be very motivated for this game. If you look at the past 6 between these two, not even close. But I'm excited about this West Virginia team because I think they're actually probably as good as, back in the day. This is one of the better offenses that we've seen. And then you look at Oklahoma State. I think they're averaging 26 points a game, but that's a little high because of the Kansas game. I think they dropped 55 on that win. And I always like to fade a team when they're off a big win, which West Virginia is off the big win against Oklahoma State, off Iowa State, who beat Oklahoma State. But then you got to look at West Virginia's remaining schedule. They got 2 more at home. Home is where they make their money, so they need to win here. They need to win another one just to get 6 wins to be bowl eligible at 4-4. Oklahoma State still has a look ahead to Oklahoma in 2 to 3 weeks. So this is going to be a close game. Like I said, West Virginia, they're putting up the points. I think they can go with Oklahoma State. I think it's going to be a really tight one, maybe 21-24. So I'm loving that hook. So give me West Virginia in the 3.5 here to cover the spread.
Joe, what do you think?
I'm scared of this game. I think this game could go either way. Oklahoma State is so hungry to get this win, but West Virginia at home, you're right. 3-1 at home, 3-0 against the spread as a dog. I'm going to look at the total. I think this one squeaks over. I can see the big plays coming in this one. 48.5 just seems too low for me. I think this one hits 52. I think we see some ball movement through the air, and this one gets over here.
I think West Virginia should be in the Pac-12. They're like so unpredictable, this team. It's like one week, they've got Oklahoma, dead to rights. The next week, it's like they don't even look anything like the same team. One thing we know about West Virginia, they can't afford to beat themselves. They cannot make mistakes, turnovers, and bad penalties. That's where they usually have problems. The thing about Oklahoma State, though, is that this team plays in a lot of close games. They might be 7-1, but their total margin of victory is probably, 12 points. It's like they play in a lot of close games. Even their loss last was a close game. So I expect to see a close one here in Morgantown. Morgantown, we've talked about this before, and James Clark will join us. It is a tough gym, as they say. It is. It's just in this day and age, that they let the fans leave the stadium for halftime and then re-enter the stadium. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? It's like, but they continue to do it, and they've always done it that way. And most places, it's like, they search you up and down, for a bottle of, whatever, trying to bring in the door. This place says, go back out, reload, come back in. It's like whatever it takes.
No slipping the Mickey in your boot. You just throw it in the pocket.
Just go back out, drink a half a bottle of moonshine, get your ass back in here.
I love it. Must be fun games.
Well, if you're the home team, I think it is. Not so fun for the visitors. But, Kevin, what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
I got an early 3-pack on in college football, and included in that is my Big Ten game of the month. That's only $40. Or if you want to wait till later and get my trio, which starts at 7 p.m., you get my NBA, NHL, and my college football. The three of them for, I think that one's $30. So you can save money there. Or if you just want the game of the month, $30. And right now I'm red hot in all sports, but I'm 56% last 30 days in college football. Kicking ass on the gridiron, NFL and college. So it's a great time to jump on.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow for NFL Sunday. Should be a good card. And I don't know, maybe you'll stay off my Dolphin games for this week.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking at those Dolphins, though.
The big Texans game is tomorrow.
Hey, if you pay these college kids for these playoffs and stuff, then they won't. And I mean, for the bowl games, then they won't sit out. You're gonna pay some of these kids. Then
it depends. I mean, I think the amount of money that they're looking at on the other side. I think you just got to expand the playoff. I really think that's.
Yeah, but you got to tell your teammates that could make money that might never play again that you're going to sit out and take maybe $12,000 out of them. I mean, that's. I guess these guys could do that, but I
say do both
to my teammates.
Do both, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. It's definitely, the Bulls are not what they once were, and like the old boy network that like stands by the Bulls because they make so much money off of it. They're losing the argument even worse and worse with the guys sitting out. How many players have ever sat out from a playoff game? Zero is the number of players that have sat from the college football playoff game because they didn't want to injure their pro career. Anyways, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take
Best
care.
of luck,
See you
Kevin.
tomorrow. Good luck.
Kevin Thomas joining us. We've got still a slew of guests coming. Joe, anything change your mind so far in games that you're looking at? It's kind of a lot of these games that we're talking about are not really the games that that I've been dialed into. I know that much.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with this. So I'm loving some of these totals, though, in these games I want to talk about.
We'll have Jovan on next, and he normally has some interesting things to say as far as where he's going. We don't always agree, that's for sure, but we don't always disagree either. But Jovan, welcome to the show. Got your mic is muted. Can't hear you. Sounds better that way, I think.
Morning.
When he's picking against my team.
Good morning, Javon.
Like... How you doing today?
Just another day at the office trying to get these winners in order.
I know you're coming off of a big day on Friday night, so see if you can carry it forward to today. Did you have a chance to catch Utah last night? Did you see that game against Stanford? See any of that?
Oh no, I was just on the ticker with that one. It went from 7 to 14 to 21-0, 28, and all right.
Same guy. It was like it was one of those games, It's like, well, let's see if they can stop this guy. Until they stop him, we're just going to give him the ball every single play, and he just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. Actually, transferred in from Cincinnati to Utah.
Wow.
But anyways, we got a full card going on today. Where are you headed with your free pick today?
I'm headed to TCU, where Baylor is a 7-point favorite, against TCU. Now, let me just put this out there right now. There'll be no bounce back, for TCU after the departure of Gary Patterson. Basically they did this guy dirty. He was only he ran the ship of one of the two programs that really started off this group of five, playing against the big boys and actually, winning, them and Boise State, back in the day. And I kind of commend them for, just backing off and leaving after they basically, just, kicked him to the curb. You know what I mean? Now, for his players, though, I don't care if Jerry Hill is coaching in his place. I think this is going to be a real letdown game, and they might have a little tick of like a little surge of play in the beginning, but I think that's going to all come tumbling down once Baylor makes a couple of big plays, and the proof is in the pudding. When Gary Patterson was there, they were 1-6, 1-6-1 against the spread, and 0-3 against the spread at home or as underdogs. So I think they folded up 10 a couple weeks ago against West Virginia, at home. I think that was the final straw, in the final nail in the coffin for them, basically. And they're 116th in their run defense, which is not good. And going against the Baylor team that's 18th in the nation in scoring offense, at 37.4. And eighth on the eighth running the ball, at 237.8 yards per game. I think it's going to get ugly. Somewhere around the end of the first half, towards the beginning of the third quarter, and I see this as a 10 to 14 point game at the very least.
Yeah, TCU has been terrible. Patterson, was one of the highest paid head coaches. He hasn't had a lot of success there really since the Andy Dalton team that went to the Rose Bowl. But he has beaten Texas most of the time, and that they know that they care about that. Jerry Kill is a great head coach, but he's had 1 week to work with this team. Not sure it's long enough. Joe?
Yeah, I don't think it's long enough either. Give me Baylor minus the points here. I just think this TCU is terrible defensively against the run. I think Baylor is going to have a great day just running this ball down constantly on them. Baylor's defense is going to be too much for the TCU's offense as well. And when we look at TCU overall, it's 1-6-1 against the spread in their last 8 games. So they're not doing anything here today. Baylor's going to have a huge day.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Baylor is one of those teams that continues to fly under the radar, even though they've been beating up on everybody. You look at who they've beaten; it's basically the who's who of the Big 12 conference. So I don't see anything different here today. And being home, I think isn't going to hurt them either. So I don't know. To me, the line looks suspiciously low. I know there's some sympathy out there for TCU. We see a lot of games like this today on the board, which the lines look off, where it's like maybe the books are trying to just point you in the wrong direction intentionally by making the line a scary number. But I wouldn't be scared here. I like Baylor. I think they just handle them. I think it's one of those games. It might not be the most exciting game in the world for a lot of people, but like 20-7 type thing.
Yeah, agree.
So what do you have for premium picks today?
I have my Saturday shootout all day 9-pack. 9 plays that I really liked. Narrowed it down from the real like a 15 plays that I liked. Took off 6, and sometimes when I do that, it's all a matter of not what I particularly like the most, but what I feel are going to be the strongest plays. Because you could like something and it not be the strongest plays, or vice versa. You could not particularly like something and it be a stronger play. So I think I got nine good ones. On college football side. I'm also gonna add on a couple NBA plays for tonight. So check me out.
I'm with you. I need to add my NBA as well. Not as big an NBA card on a Saturday that we're used to seeing, so and a little tougher. Half the games the lines weren't out. So
yeah.
But of course, we'll see you tomorrow for NFL Sunday. Appreciate you stopping by as always.
You know it. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Once again, Jovan Burtz coming off of
Best of luck.
Perfect night last night. See if he can do it again. Go to West Virginia next. We're going to bring in James Clark in just a second. James, of course, was one of our winners of Become a Capper contest last year. We will be running the Become a Capper contest in December, starting December 1st through December 31st. We're going to have a lot more information in the coming weeks. We're going to be running it through our Twitter and Instagram. Is that how it's going to work, Joe?
Yeah, we're going to have an Instagram capper and then a Twitter capper.
Yep. Last year we
did different competitions.
Last year we did it through Facebook, through our Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs groups. This year we're doing it through our Twitter accounts, and it's going to be the Pick Dogs Twitter account and the Pick Dogs Instagram account. We'll have 2 winners that will each have the opportunity to become cappers at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. And the thing is that there'll be all sorts of rules and stipulations, right? So it's not, you can't be an idiot and come work for us, and we're not going to just bring in anybody. We're going to find out about these people before we bring them in. But, for the most part, you end up with someone like James Clark, and his record speaks for itself a year later. James, welcome to the show. We could. This is the part where I get to put words in his mouth.
Uh-oh. Look out.
But
morning, James.
Morning.
How are things going out there in West Virginia for you?
So far, so good. Ready for us. I love Kevin Thomas's pick today. I look for the Mountaineers to come out strong, even though it ain't my game. I really love the pick he's got here.
Yeah, I think West Virginia's been a tough team to figure out this season. We've seen the highs and the lows from this team, that's for sure. And we've seen a lot of inconsistency. But I think overall, probably a team, headed in the right direction. They've had a lot of change over there, over the last 10 years. It's not like they've had one head coach that's kind of just stayed there and been there. It's like they've kind of been through a couple different head coaches. Boy, when they had Rich Rodriguez, they sure were onto something, Any regrets, you think, going on there?
Yeah. Well, the way he left, we a lot of people had a lot of bad feelings of Rich, and then am I echo real bad?
A little bit. Fix it.
Let me try to fix it real quick.
Anyways, just disappear live on the air. That's okay, James. You don't worry about us.
I didn't actually hear an echo.
It wasn't real bad. It was slight.
Yeah, I love how the fans already going there. Nice and warm there, I guess, already this morning.
They're saying Joe.
Not like here, my furnace is heated up like crazy.
We have a request for the Joe Madden close-up. We can do that next when it's her turn to talk.
Oh, God, no.
Joe's like,
early in the morning for a close-up. I've only had like 4 coffees.
Joe's like, I was out late last night watching football outside.
I was. I didn't get home till 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
All right, what about that?
Yeah, I think it's worse, but that's okay. Just
okay. Anyways, Rich, he left to go to a high-paid job with Michigan, so the West Virginia fans always hold that against him. So that's the big reason. But you went from a partying coach to Neil Brown, a fan, man. So we like Neil.
Neither of them has had the same success as they had together, and that's really the thing, is that was the last time West Virginia was really, really good. And that was the last time Rich Rodriguez was really, really good, So it's one of those things.
It is, Mitch.
They're definitely stronger together.
That's true. Rich Rodriguez, he come up. He was from West Virginia. We really liked it. He got behind us on the team. I think the biggest part was when he left right before the bowl game, and after I left us high and dry, and then after that, everybody went against him.
But I think that's the way it generally has to go because of recruiting. That it's like if you're going to leave, you have to go before the bowl game. If you wait till after the bowl game, at least the way recruiting was at the time, recruiting generally closes like right around the Super Bowl, like the week before the Super Bowl. So it's like, you only have X amount of weeks to hit the recruiting trail at your new program. If not, you're basically writing off the entire year. And that's why you're seeing coaches fired mid-season now, as opposed to the old days when they used to wait till the end of the year to fire guys like Gary Patterson.
Yeah. Well, we, usually we do good coming off a bye. As you say, we beat TCU and then Iowa State. So usually coming off a bye, we're doing good. So I look for us to win this game today.
Well, what do you got for us today for a free pick?
Well, I'm staying with the Big 12. I like Texas today, getting 6.5 points. If you look in most of the Texas's games this year, all besides one against Arkansas, it's a touchdown game. So here we go again against a Big 12 team that they've all been 7 points and under. So I like it again. I like Texas. If not win this game, hang in there and make it a 6.5 point game and keep it under a 7.
Joe, what do you think of this one? Iowa State hosting Texas. Texas has been, obviously disappointing this year with Steve Sarkisian, one of my coaches that I like to bash on a consistent basis.
Yeah, we all.
Well, now Joe is frozen. It's a good time to take out our telestrator tools and draw on the screen. That's what I usually like to do when Joe's frozen. There, she's back now. You're frozen.
Okay, so the one thing that scares me about Texas is they're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games as an underdog. I do think this is a tighter game, though, but I think the best way to go with this game is the over. We're looking at 2 offenses that can be totally explosive. Texas is averaging 39.4 points per game, while Iowa State is averaging 32.1 points per game. High total, but I think we have a high shootout battle in this one.
I just can't. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I like the over. I like the over also, Joe. I like for both of them to go up and down the field and score. That's why I think it's going to be a close game. They'll be trading touchdowns about all day long.
I just can't get behind Steve Sarkisian. It looks like conditioning has been a big problem for Texas. The fourth quarter has not been a good quarter for them. They have surrendered fourth quarter leads all season long, and pretty much, it's been their undoing. If you look at all of their losses, They led in the fourth quarter of all of those games. So I think against a team, I think Matt Campbell, one of the best head coaches in college football. I think that Iowa State has underachieved this season, but let's just say if Miami has a head coach opening, I wouldn't mind it too much if Matt Campbell was in the conversation for that job. We've done well with Big 12 coaches in the past when we got that Jimmy Johnson guy from Oklahoma State. So I think no one would have a problem with this guy either.
No, that's true, man. They let Oklahoma come back. They let a lot of teams come back in the fourth quarter.
Every one of their losses, every single one of them has been a come from behind loss. So to me, that's conditioning. Steve Sarkisian is a flip flop and type guy. He wears flip flops and the California whatever. He's not really the hard nosed coach. And he's perfect for the golf course here. Hanging on the beach here. But it's like I don't know if you want him running the University of Texas football team where the expectations are through the roof. So because the budget is through the roof, right? So they can have those kind of expectations. But, of course, they won't be your problem anymore in the Big 12 Conference. They are heading out in Cincinnati, BYU, a few others. But I think by the time that all happens in 2025, I honestly believe that we will have a 16-team playoff in place. This is going to be the year where someone's going to get squeezed out, and it's probably not. If it's Cincinnati squeezing out a SEC or Big Ten team, you're gonna hear tears and the screaming of bloody murder that you've never heard before. If somehow Georgia loses to Alabama in an SEC championship game and they both have one loss, and Georgia gets knocked out of the playoff, and it's Cincinnati that's in there ahead of them, oh man, it's going to be like the end of the world as far as college football goes, because no one cries a bigger river than Georgia. Nobody cries a bigger river. I mean, we say about like all these other teams, and I complain about everybody else, but Georgia is the biggest of the biggest, right? They're the reason. So I'll get into this and I'll explain why I say that. And I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm not saying any of those things, but there used to only be 2 college football games every Saturday on TV. And Georgia sued the NCAA, and they sued it, and they took it to the Supreme Court. And that's why we have so many college football games on TV. It's because Georgia was like, you won't show us on TV. You don't show us on TV enough. That's exactly what happened. We can't recruit with these guys because you're showing Michigan, Notre Dame every week. That's why they beat us, because they get all the recruits because we're never on TV. And that's why all these games are on now. Anyways, what are you selling today?
I got a 5-pack college, 5 of the best games today that I really love. Guys that we go 5-0, upgrade 3, 7, or 30 days. Or, guys, like I say, every time on the show, team me up with any of the cappers on the show or on the site. Team us up together and we'll put some money in your pockets. Right now, over 800 units in college football, and look to upper at today.
All right. Well, James, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we get your sound fixed tomorrow. Don't sound like you're in a small room with stone walls, floors, and ceilings. But I think we'll get that figured out, and we'll have to test it out before the show next week. But anyways, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, and I'm sure you'll be watching your Mountaineers today.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Go Mountaineers.
Best of luck today, James.
That was James Clark.
Thank y'all for having me.
Once again, winner of our Become a Capper contest last year, and he certainly has worked out. We will be having our Become a Capper contest this year. 2 winners, once again, just like last year, except this year, instead of it being through the Facebook groups, this year it will be through the Pick Dogs Twitter account. Every day you'll be entering your entries there in response to a post, and the other one will be on our Pick Dogs Instagram account. So you're going to want to follow those accounts now so you get those notifications when they tweet and when they do this and say, okay, here are the rules. Here's how you enter. Here's all that stuff. I don't want don't email me. Don't instant message me. Follow the Twitter. Follow the Instagram. You'll get everything you need in plenty of time to know how to do it. Because I know now what's going to happen is, when does the contest start? How do I get in the contest? I'm going to have a million emails. The answer is going to be the same. Instagram, Twitter. I don't
Absolutely.
have Instagram. I don't have Twitter. I can't be in. Can I still be in the contest?
They can't
The
be in
answer
it.
is no. Okay.
No.
You can be. You don't have to be in both. You can be in one or the other, but you can be in both if you have both. But if you don't have either, then the answer is no. You cannot be in it. Well, I don't want to be on Twitter because I don't like their political policy. We're not a political show.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So you have a choice.
I do
You
not
can
care.
Go Twitter or
I do not
Instagram.
care. I do not care about your politics or your views on that. I do not care. I have none, and I do not care. But mine is that I do not care. I do not care about your Instagram political views. Do not care.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to do some different things, some videos and stuff like that as well.
Doesn't mean I
with this
support
contest.
Twitter's political views or Instagram's political views. Doesn't mean any of those things. Means I do not care.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
I like it. Anyways, we've got other guests that are here with us. We've got Chris Ruffalo joining us all the way from Toronto. We imported him in just for the show. Let's see if we can figure out how to get him on here. Still not the best of this tech producer thing. I don't know.
You're doing a fantastic job, Mitch.
Someday I'll nail it, but that day isn't now.
Well, you're trying to talk and do it all at the same time. What about Twitter and Instagram handles? Does it have to be their real name? Someone's saying it mattered last year. They had to come in with their real name. I think we need to know their real name for it.
The part of the entry is you're going to have to do part of your picks on video. So it really doesn't matter if you use your real name or not, because when you come onto the site, you'll have to use your real name and you'll have to enter your picks. I think, what is it, Joe? Once or twice a week or something? Once or once or twice a week, your picks will need to be done on video. Because if you're going to be a capper on our site, just like our eye candy Chris Ruffalo, you'll need to be on camera plenty. So it's like, I don't want to be on camera. Then you can't be a capper on our site. I mean, these are all going to be simple things. What we're going to do is any of the difficulties that people have had in the past about it, we're going to nip them all in the bud right out of the gate. You're not going to have to worry about it's like, I don't want to be on camera. Well, then don't bother entering the contest.
Yeah, it's not the competition for you then.
I'm not the person you want to work with.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, people say that anyway,
Yeah, so. And if you only want to give picks once a week, you definitely don't want to be on the site.
Yeah.
I just glossed over that.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to work with Mitch. Everyone. We know that. That's why this competition exists.
We'll see. It's, I don't know. I think it's there's give and take in everything, but you'll have to be able. Yeah, like I think we said once or twice a week the picks will be done video wise. There's all sorts of different rules. We have like a Twitter, Instagram person that's helping us with this and really good ideas.
And it's gonna be a super fun competition this year.
Joe's been with us like a little over 2 months. She's starting to learn what it's like to go to these brainstorming things with me, which is. I just start shooting out ideas like one after the other.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. And it's 67 days today, Mitch.
67, but who's counting?
Me.
Ruffalo, welcome to the show. How are things going?
No, thank you. They're going well. And trust me, if video is not your thing, I've been told I have a face for radio, and I'm still doing these live shows and these videos. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, I think
you have a very trusting face. You have a perfect face for video.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
But
I will say this. I'm never coming to the green room again because I brought donuts this week. And
you brought them.
Nobody ate them. Okay, so I told Joe to wear white because I brought the powdered donuts and nobody ate them. So
I love it. Thanks for bringing those. Maybe I'll have one after the show.
I would like one. They look good. But anyways.
These won't last.
So I'm going to guess you were doing hockey videos this morning with Rod Zawacki. You guys getting ready. How's the hockey going at the Puck Dogs these days?
You know what? The Puck Dogs were starting to heat up. The ice is starting to melt underneath us. We're that hot. I mean, we're starting to really pick it up, and we're loving doing the videos. We're having fun every day doing them, and it's just like everything else. The season's just ramping up. But it's the perfect time of year because we got all these sports bleeding together, and hockey just another one to add to the mix.
All right. Well, tell us what do you got today for a free pick?
free pick. I'm going to be rolling down that river that you were talking about with the Georgia Bulldogs because I'm looking at this Georgia-Missouri matchup. You never want to lay 40 points with a team that's 4-4 in the year in a Power 5 conference. The problem is the Missouri Tigers have been absolutely atrocious on defense, allowing 36 points per game, 120th in the nation. And, let's not forget that this is a team that was run over by Tennessee to the tune of 62 points allowed as they gave up over 400 rushing yards in that game. The Georgia Bulldogs, they haven't been the Georgia Bulldogs that run all over teams that we've seen in past seasons. But we all know what the scoring defense has done. They've allowed 6.6 points per game this season, second in the country in total yardage against, passing yardage against, rushing yardage against. And, their last 5 games, they've rushed for, 244, 273, 201, 168, and 193. So I'm not saying we see a 62-point performance against Missouri here, but as much as anyone doesn't want to lay 40 points, I think Georgia wins this one running away in a rout. I don't see any other option in this one.
Joe, what do you think?
Man, I hate this spread. This is just so many points. But we have seen Missouri. They lost by, I think, just under this, maybe 37, 38 points to Tennessee. So we have seen them be blown out of the water. I just don't know. We look at Georgia, 5-2 against the spread as a favorite this year. They're only averaging at 38 points per game, though, and that's where it kind of scares me in this one. I don't know. This just seems like way too many points because we've got a lower total too, 59.5. I don't know. I'm gonna not take a side in this one. I don't want to put a pick out.
It's just such a tough one because we all know Georgia could be up 35-0 in the first quarter, in this game. And at the same time, this could also be that 17-14 brawl that Georgia gets into every single season. They get into one of those games, and it's always against a team that you would never expect it. And, it was Jacksonville State a couple of years ago. It was South Carolina the year after that. It's like they get into these games at home, and it's always between the hedges that it happens to them. And they get into these games, and you're just not really sure what the hell's going on. And I think, oh, man, does this one set up to be something like that? I'm a little worried about the Georgia Bulldogs here. Missouri hasn't covered a spread all season long. I'm not rushing to the window. I'm not betting this thing. I'm going to.
Me either. I can't do it.
I'm going to pull straight Ruffalo on this one.
I figured you wouldn't. That's probably why I picked this game, and I just wanted to be associated with it again. So.
But what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Well, I got a little something for everybody. Right now, I got my non-conference total of the year, my favorite total I've seen all season long, backed by a system that's hitting at over 80% this year. 80% overall, dating back to 2005. So definitely a play you want to be on if you like totals. Or I got some 3-packs out there, one for the 12 o'clock slot, one for the 3:30, and one for the 7 o'clock. Or I got some NBA on the board as well. So definitely lots of options at Pick Dogs. And check out those long-term passes because they're going to be some of your best value, especially now. And with college basketball right around the corner, it's definitely a time to hop on board.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Chris. Of course, we'll see you tomorrow right here for NFL Sunday.
Absolutely. And Joe, I'll save you a powdered donut.
Sounds good. Have a wonderful day. Best of luck.
I would like one, but the last time Ruffalo mailed me pastry, it took about a month and a half to get it.
Oh, stop it.
There was a big bite out of it.
I can't defend that.
But anyways, I see Al McMorty in the green room. I see that he's there, but I cannot see him. How about you, Joe? Can you see him in there?
No, I actually can't either.
So we need him to turn his camera on or something, or leave and come back or something.
I see the birthday boy in the green room as well.
I see the birthday boy. Rod Zawacki. See if Al can make it. We could bring Rod in the meantime, I guess. So we can get Al's camera working. Sometimes it's a setting. I think Skype had an update is what happened.
Yeah, I think so as well. Mine updated yesterday.
Yep, mine did as well. Let's bring Rod in the meantime.
Yeah, you guys. I'll wish Rod a happy birthday.
We'll wish Rod a happy birthday. So that's what we do. Rod, welcome to the show. Looks like you got a haircut for your birthday as well.
I did. I ran into the weed whacker and I lost.
Nice.
Looking good, Rod.
Yeah.
When they were starting to, when I came out of the grocery store and somebody handed me change and they were like, here's some change. You're going to lose down in your luck. I was like, yeah, okay, I think it's time to get a shave.
Oh, that's too funny.
But, yeah, we've got a good card of college football today. I see Al popping in the green room now, so it's like he's working. But we got a good card of games today for your birthday. What are you looking at here? What bandwagon are you ready to jump on? You on the Utah bandwagon after last night or what? That was something.
Right? They rolled. Holy, did they ever roll last night? For me, we're gonna jump on. We're gonna jump on a high-scoring game. I think we're gonna see a whole lot of points in this Wake Forest and UNC game. Points will plenty. You look at both offenses, and then both offenses have just been racking up the yards over. Both offenses almost close to 500 yards a game. Racking up the points over 30 points a game. Both teams. And you look, Wake Forest 5-1 of the over their last 6 road games. They're also 4-1 of the over following an ATS loss. They're also 4-1 of the over their last 5 versus a team with a winning record. And then you look at UNC, and they're 8-0 after accumulating more than 200 yards of offense in the previous game. Last 5 meetings between these two to the over. I know it's a whole pile of points, but I think it over the number. Give me the over in Wake Forest, UNC.
I'm with you. I think this is going to be a slow points, Joe.
Yeah, I completely agree. Both these offenses can light up the board. And we look at Wake Forest's defense. On the road, they're giving up 36.6 points per game. So give me the over all day long in this one. I absolutely love it, Rod.
Yeah, we saw Syracuse light up this Wake Forest defense pretty good. But Wake, they were able to tighten up at the end of the game when they needed to. But we've seen North Carolina just really get knifed this season time and time again. Really one of the more disappointing teams in all of college football. They're getting whipped in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and that's what we've seen from them. And even the game that they won against us, of course Miami, it was one of those balls that like hit off somebody, a deflected thing, it bounced straight up in the air. Miami was driving straight down the field. They were on the 20-yard line with plenty of time left to go in the game to get into the end zone. First down and goal. First down and 10 from the 20, and from the North Carolina 20, and they were clearly had all the momentum. But I think this is going to be a slugfest, like you said. But I do believe that Wake is going to take them out, and I think that what we're seeing is like there's a lot of these sharp chaser plays out there today, and I think that North Carolina just fits in that category today. That's just this play where like these people are chasing sharp money. It's like they're not sharp plays. It's people chasing the sharps, right? And it's like there's a bunch of those out there. And I think those plays are going to get shellacked today. I really do. I think that this is the time of year where it's like home teams and conference games and, it's like these are those type of things. And the better teams, the teams that really have something to play for and really have proved that they know how to win are the ones that get it done, And I think that some of these other prayer teams that we're seeing not going to happen. And it's like I think a lot of people are just looking for Wake for like we don't believe in Wake, so we'll just take Carolina here. Well, they've been sliced, diced, and resliced all season. And trust me, Wake's going to throw for about 750 yards in this game. So. Carolina will probably go with them for a good portion. I don't think they can keep up with these guys though. Dave Clawson is probably one of the more underestimated coaches in all of college football.
I think what happens is Wake they get a touchdown lead, they get a double touchdown lead, and then UNC's chasing the rest of the day.
Yeah, I think I'm not saying that
and they can never catch up.
It's kind of like an Ole Miss game, right? It's not like they actually It's not like they actually stop them at some point. What happens is they just can't. They just keep scoring. Like they'll score, they keep
scoring,
right? They just answer, right? They just keep answering.
Just when you make it 7, they're like, oh, it's 14 again. Oh, it's 7. Oh, it's 14 again.
This is the one. So this is the one that the way that I describe this game. If you're a person that recycles your bankroll throughout the day, don't count on having that money to work with for the next set of games because the game's going to be like 5 hours. not for the bankroll. It's not your bankroll recycle game, that's for sure. But what do you got for sale today for your birthday package? How many candles in that cake?
Well, for me, I got a nice early college football triple. We went 4-2 last week in college football, so I'm going to try to keep it rolling here. So I got a nice early triple, and then I got my executive info afternoon / evening mix, and then there you'll get 4 more college football bets, which include my 10-star college football executive info play of the day. That's my top play of the day, as well as 2 NBA rim rockers, and my 10-star NHL play of the day, and that's my executive info afternoon package. So 2 packages over there, one for the early morning and then one for the afternoon and evening slate, divided up into 2. But jump on over. Have another nice winning day. Crushed it yesterday. So I'm going to continue it rolling right along. Slammed our blanket.
All right. Well, we'll see you in just a few minutes for the VIP, and of course tomorrow for NFL Sunday, and every day here on Pick Dogs for our morning show. Which don't forget to set your clocks or whatever you guys do. Ours don't change. Just the showtime changes for me. But tomorrow's show is at 7 o'clock Hawaiian time instead of 6 o'clock. No. It's at. Tomorrow's show is at 5 o'clock Hawaii time. No, 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock.
I'm confused. All I know is
5
it's
o'clock.
still 10 a.m. Eastern.
Tomorrow's at 5 o'clock Hawaii time instead of 4 o'clock Hawaii time. That's what it is. All right. It's 5 instead of 4. Ooh, I get to sleep in. All right, Rod, we'll see you tomorrow, whatever time it is.
See you in a little bit, Rod.
Rod's a wacky, the birthday boy.
Happy birthday.
He's been pretty hot recently. I think all of us on the morning show have been on fire. So Rod, no different. So be sure to check out what he's got going on. Got Al McMorty finally dialed in here. Let's see if we can get him all set and bring him in. And there we go. Al, welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. The reason I couldn't do it before was I had mistakenly chosen Firefox instead of Chrome. And Firefox didn't work. So that was why.
Browser selection.
Yeah.
Get you every time.
How are you guys doing on this Saturday? I'm still a little bit under the weather, so I apologize for my voice.
You sound like something's happening over there, but we know apparently all you gotta do now is take a pill and it's all fine. All of a sudden, same pill, same pill. Ironic.
If I had COVID, maybe that's the way it works. But unfortunately, I just got the common cold, and what are you gonna do?
Chicken broth,
matzo ball soup,
and onions on your feet when you sleep at night.
Okay,
I'm gonna take a hard pass on that one. But
I've never done it. I've heard it.
Yeah, it's good story. Well, we're at that time in college football. Just a few weeks left in the season. The rubber meeting the road. We've had a lot of the trophy games and a lot more to come. And today, a lot of these. What I call sharp chaser games where, we're seeing sharp money, clearly taking a side in these games, and a lot of people following them because there's more access to this supposed information than there ever has been before. So, what are you looking at today? I know, we got pretty much everything going on.
Yeah. I just, this one person keeps calling me, even though I've messaged him to say I can't talk right now.
Some people don't get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think they're more important, right?
Yes. We can put them on the air. We can. I do that I get the calls for people trying to sell me picks when I'm on the air, and Joe and I are doing the afternoon show. They'll call from one of those Vegas places to sell me picks, and I'm like, "You're on the air."
Isn't that great when they call you and you're trying to tell them, but I'm a sports handicapper?
Oh, I don't even say that. I don't even say it. I just say you're on the air. I'm on the air when they call, and I just put them on speaker. I'm like, you're on the air, and they'll either hang up or they'll try and figure it out or something.
But believe it or not,
just keep going.
twice I've had someone call me trying to sell me my own picks.
Oh, wow.
So that was a surreal experience.
Okay.
we didn't even get into the parts of whether to find out whether or not they were actually my real picks, that they were trying to sell me Big Al's picks. So that was fun.
Wow. That's got to be tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
if you read the YouTube comments, I never get the games right. I never pick winners anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, one game I want to talk about is maybe it's one of these sharp chaser games. I don't know. You'll have to tell me, Mitch. But I'm going to take a look at the Michigan State-Purdue game. And I've noticed that game has dropped from 3 to 2.5 right now. It was 3 when I went to bed. It's 2.5 now. So someone's moved some money on it. And we're going to take a look. Last week we talked about Michigan State, and they were an undefeated team. They were a home dog catching points to Michigan, and I like playing on those kind of teams. When they're off back-to-back wins. Obviously, if you're undefeated, you're off back-to-back wins. But those power teams do quite well as home dogs. But now you take that team that's undefeated and you put it on the road, and you put it on the road as a favorite. And when you take a look at how undefeated teams do it, game 9 forward, if they're off an upset win, which Michigan State is. Those teams, game 9 forward, undefeated, they're 21-15 straight up, which doesn't sound all that bad, except the fact that they were favored in 28 of those 36 games. And they're 12-24 against the spread, including 0-9 against the spread when priced as a road favorite of 24 or less points, which is obviously where this game falls into. The home underdog in this series is 9-0 ATS. The last 9, I'm taking the points with Purdue.
Joe?
I don't know. That's really hard stats to go against, but I really do think Michigan State could have a chance to pull this off. Might be too many points here. This might be a 1-point game when we come down to it. I actually see this being a lower scoring game. So that's what I like. I like the under. I think the weaknesses in Michigan State's pass protection will be the difference here. So give me the under in this game.
I think the issue that you have here with Purdue is that they're a horrible home team. It's not like they're a good home team and have this great home field advantage. They're a horrible home team. Horrid. They lost to Wisconsin. They got smoked. I mean, just absolutely smoked by one of the worst head coaches in all of college football. Then they also lost to Minnesota, and Purdue was actually, in that game, really appeared to be the better team playing the better football. And Minnesota, they could not get them off the field on third down. They just could not get off the field on third down. And they just flecked them, PJ Fleck, rowing the boat on them. And it's like, I have seen Michigan State get underestimated all season long. And I'm not a Michigan State guy, right? I'm not even close because to me, it's like they're the Big Ten and all that other things. But they played us, and they beat the crap out of us. We played Alabama, and Alabama beat us good, but these guys beat the crap out of us, better than Alabama did. I'll tell you that much. Way better, because Alabama got soft in the second half. Michigan State came on hard in the second half. That same back that we saw last week did the exact same things to us, and those wide receivers, way underrated. I don't think Purdue has a chance in this game. Not a chance.
Well, I'm going to go against Joe on the total as well. I like this over the total. It's a little bit of a contrarian total. I think it looks somewhat easy to take the under given what the teams have been doing, but I like it over as well.
I'm going contrarian to the line move here in the sharp action. I just think that this is one of those ones where just the Sharps loved Indiana against Michigan State. They always have a team where either they jump on or jump against, seemingly every year. A few years ago it was the Cleveland Browns. Remember that fiasco when the Sharps, I don't know how they had any money left after that season. But it was, it was one of those, last year was the Jets, right? Oh my God, the pounding they took on the Jets and, at the first half of the season. And what will happen is they'll win one finally, and it'll be see, they got it. But what about the 10 games that they got rolled? And we've seen Michigan State get disrespected. We've seen teams get disrespected like this year after year. I think this is a horrible spot for Purdue. Horrible, because Michigan State, I know they're looking at Ohio State. I know that, But it's like this team hasn't lost focus all season. I don't see it happening here.
Yeah, I don't think this team looks ahead. I think this team looks at each game.
They looked at, I mean, the way that comeback in the second half last week, man, that was epic. That you just do not see that in rivalry games. I don't know. I think the Sharps are in for a very tough day today. Across the board. But that's just me. I mean, I could be in for a very tough day too. It's happened before.
As could all of us.
It's happened before, man.
I'm just glad I don't have a premium.
I don't think you got to see my wife's impersonation of me. I don't have. Oh, I do have it with me. Here's my wife's impersonation of me watching the Colts game. The final 3 minutes of the Colts game. This is what she had to.
Coach, I just knew we were gonna win. It's gonna be the worst beat I've ever had.
Let's see here. She said, here it is. She's impersonating me here.
That Colts, that fucking coach. I just knew we were gonna win. It's gonna be the worst beat I've ever had.
Pretty much how it went. She was like, she did the whole thing. She's like, I told everyone on my show that guy's a dick.
I love it.
Yeah.
So the other game I want to talk about is a similar type of a situation. It involves another undefeated team, but not one that people really have been paying any attention to, and that's Texas San Antonio. And the Roadrunners this year are 8-0 straight up. They're also 7-1 against the spread, so they're making a lot of friends in Las Vegas. They're going to play Texas El Paso today. The Miners are having a decent year. They're 6-2 straight up. They're also 6-2 against the spread, so they're doing pretty well in that respect. But when you take a look at how unbeaten teams do, but instead of looking at game 9 forward, we're going to move it back a few weeks to game 7 forward. You take a look at how undefeated teams do at game 7 forward. When you put them on the road as favorites and you put them against a good team that's both a winning team straight up and also, very importantly, a winning team against the spread. And those teams, the undefeated teams, now are 49-71 against the spread, including 15-29 ATS as double-digit favorites. I think this is a really good situation to step in and take the points with UTEP and go against San Antonio that I just think has gotten a little bit ahead of itself here, laying this many points on the road against a quality team.
Conference USA stinks this year. It's just, these records pretty much tell you everything you need to know about Conference USA. Joe, what do you think about this one? UTSA and UTEP, not two teams that we're normally talking about, with 2 losses between them heading into week 10.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Al. I think taking them plus the points is the way to go in this. I also like the under. I think we've got 2 solid defenses, and they're going to both run the ball and eat up the clock. So I like it.
Here's the argument for every Division I conference winner to make it into a 16-team playoff is this one right here. I mean, this is these teams they're good, but they're not like. That you put them in against Georgia, it's not going to be a game. Not even one. It's like, Brian Kelly, when he was at Cincinnati, he was like, yeah, maybe for one game we could hang with, one of those teams. But it's like, I don't even think these guys could hang with them for one game. But I could see this one. I could see it. Both these teams playing way out of their mind. And I think for both these programs, it's been a great year. And it's going to help them in recruiting and everything going into the future. And who knows where this takes them. But, yeah, I could see exactly what you're saying in this one. I'm with you.
So over at Pick Dogs Premium today, I've got Breeders' Cup for those who like horse races. I've had a lot of success, as folks know, in the major horse races, the Triple Crown races, the Breeders' Cup, and I've got the winner of the Breeders' Cup Classic today, and that goes later tonight. That's being run out at Del Mar, and I also have hockey. And then I've got 11 college football plays, including my Pac-12 and my ACC conference games of the year. I was 4-1 yesterday overall, including a winner on Boston College. I'm now 115-67, my last 182. And so I welcome folks to jump on board or to team me up with one of the other champion handicappers here over at Pick Dogs, teaming up with Brian. I know Brian's been red hot. I think he's 10-1 his last 11 over the last 3 days. And so jump on board.
What do you think of these line moves on game day morning, where we're seeing, Purdue now 2 points and, we're seeing some of these other ones, Liberty 2-point drop in this game. And, I mean, is it a big better? Is it people laying off action on the other side? What is it?
I don't really ask those kinds of questions. I'm more concerned about just getting the best number myself, not wondering, on game day. I mean, my bets have already been placed, back last Sunday night and Monday. I mean, I'm the type of person that strongly believes in getting ahead of the curve and not being behind the curve and putting the bets in early because, I guess the way to look at it is point spreads move because people know what they're doing, right? And they're moving them based on people like me, the sharps, and they're not moving them based on
But what
squares.
about when they're moved on someone like Mattress Mac? And we even see him at the horse track, putting down a couple million. We saw him last year at the Breeders' Cup, or was it the Derby? He put $2 million on the favorite, and there was only $6 million total.
But that's pari-mutuel wagering, so it's a completely different thing. But if you're talking about football and basketball, they're moving it for the most part based on sharps. And if you know what you're doing, you want to get your bets in early before the other people who know what they're doing get in their bets, because otherwise you're going to follow the money instead of be ahead of it, and you're going to get a worse number.
All right.
So that's my advice, everyone. Football, put in your bets early in the week, and in basketball, and put your bets in at 8 a.m. before 8 a.m. if you can.
I got roasted on that yesterday, but we'll see. I'll stick with it. I had the Pacers. I ended up with them at 3.5. They lost by 4, and the line was 5 when it went off. It was 4.5 all day.
5.5.
Yeah, I
had
that 3.5.
That line actually moved around 8 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, that's when I lost, and I was already in, so I lost that game. It was a tough one. Made a winning day, a losing one that easily. Happens half a point. Yeah. The guy shoots the 3 instead of the 2. Welcome to sports betting, right?
It's my 3-year-old's walking in. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, have a good one now. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. Once again, Big Al. Interesting opinions there. We agree on a lot. We don't agree sometimes, and that's the nature of the beast. That's why there's different people in different games.
Absolutely.
I don't win them all. He doesn't win them all. That's for sure. So I think he wins more than I do, though. So that I will say for sure. He's definitely won more for longer than I have. I will fully say that. But anyways, we got one more capper with us today. And of course, we all know who that is. That's Brian Bittler, our own Brian Bittler. Of course, Brian on probably his best winning streak in 6 months, if not more. It hasn't been. But last year at this same time, he was on the same type of heater. So
I love it.
This is his time of year. I was on a heater as well at this time of year. So last year, Brian and I both rode in November and December, just absolutely crushed it. I think it was Brian, myself, and Al, all 3 of us that were on the same heater. But, Brian, you frozen?
I'm here.
Your picture's
frozen.
Was I
not moving?
Yeah, try leaving and coming back.
Let me leave and come back in.
Hold it's like this happened
too. It happened last week, too.
Same thing.
My son just texted from his room saying, "Hey, Mom, can you bring me out some apple fritters?" Wow, kids are lazy these days.
Brian makes it back. Lost him.
Yeah, he'll be back any second, you guys.
And now it's working. So there you go.
It must be from staying on too long or something.
Staying on too long.
But yeah, we were red hot last year, so hopefully history repeats itself and we close out the year on a magnificent burner. It's always tough to follow the legend, Big Al, but going to try to do it today.
Well, what do you got going on for us?
Well, it's a play that really could have easily been a premium. Just barely missed it. I like South Florida Bulls today plus the points. There's no false assumptions for me that South Florida is a good college football team, but the Bulls have been rock solid cover team in spots this season, especially at home where they're 3-1 against the spread. Lots of love here for SMU by the bettors. Bulls, though, are 11-1 against the spread the last 12 games following an ATS loss. Last week, they got stomped by East Carolina. Houston in a letdown spot off that big program win versus SMU. Cougars 8-20 against the spread last 28 games following an ATS win. So for me here, take the South Florida Bulls. I believe the line's 13 to 13.5. I think you'll get it. I think it's a 10-point win for Houston.
Joe.
Oh, this is a hard one for me. I've been going back and forth with this one. I'm going to actually stay off it. I can make a case for both sides, why the Bulls will cover, why Houston will cover in this one. I think I'm looking more towards the over. I think this number is just a little bit low. I do think we see some more points in this one. So I'm going to stay off the side. Just give me the over.
It's which team shows up, for South Florida. We saw them, cover against BYU and Florida, and then we also seen them get run out of the building. And for Houston, they've been a defensive team this year, which is weird for Dana Holgorsen coach team. Mm-hmm. So it's just a little tougher to read for me, and I could see, I could easily make a case both ways, which is why this isn't a play for me either. So I'm going to say that this game goes under the total. That's where I'm going to stick with. I think that we know South Florida is kind of that. South Florida is not going to get out to a big lead or go toe-to-toe with Houston. If they cover, it's going to be a backdoor, right? I mean, that's what they do. They did it against BYU. They were getting rolled. They did it in the second half, opened up the offense. And they did the same thing to Florida, exactly the same type of cover. So I don't know if Houston's going to allow that to happen with that defense, but I do think it stays under the total.
Sounds good.
What do you got today at Pick Dogs for sale?
Tell you what, I'm trying to get 4 straight days of 3-0 sweeps. You can get my 3 best college football bets. That includes my Big Ten game of the year. All 3 plays for $40 at pickdogs.com. And they are afternoon games, 3 o'clock or later. So you got plenty of time to get in.
Yeah, it's one of those days where most of the action seems to be in that 3:30 and beyond. There's really just a handful of games early. So most of the action's late. So those of you on the fence about buying packages, whatever, you'll have time to see, time to think about it and reload your bankroll and do all those things in the meantime. Plenty of time for it today. But, all right. Well, that wraps up another show. We appreciate everyone. We'll be doing the VIP show right after this one. We already sent out the premium. I sent it out this morning. I kind of like doing it that way. It gives us a little bit more leeway here. But, if you're not a VIP member, it's a great day to do it. Full card, and I think we're going to have some fireworks on the show today. So be sure to join us. This is Mitch, Joe, always a pleasure. Brian, well, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for a great show, Mitch.
See you guys. I'm going to try and act more professional for NFL pro football tomorrow. Make it a winning day.